Welcome back, everybody. Bring guys a new YouTube video today. Now, as you guys know, Redfall was an Xbox exclusive title released in a terrible spot. Microsoft forced Redfall to be released early. That led to consequences to the game being released at 30 FPS. It took them a year to add a performance mode, by the way. When Redfall released, it was at 30 FPS, and not even a year, it took them that long to add a 60 FPS performance with these next-gen consoles. Seeing these Xbox Series S and X game barely handle these games at 30 FPS is kind of a disappointment, and the PS5 is just putting these consoles to shame, honestly. So I played Redfall when it was released, and oh boy, it was a absolute mess. The game was pretty much unplayable. Games like Redfall, Remnant 2, Starfield, it's kind of embarrassing that some games can't handle a solid 60 FPS at this point. I'm so happy that I own PC, but console gaming is just a joke at this point. And as we know, Phil Spencer is definitely going to be under fire for this decision, honestly. Microsoft wouldn't be in this spot if they would have actually make good games that are not rushed through development to be released as a complete waste of garbage. And Phil Spencer, the head of Xbox, once said, "One thing I won't do is push against creative inspirations of our teams. When a team like Rare wants to do Sea of Thieves, when a team like Obsidian wants to do Grounded, when a Tango wants to do Hi-Fi, when everyone thought they were probably doing The Evil Within 3, I want to give the teams the creative platform to go and push their ability to push their inspiration." Phil Spencer, head of Xbox. As a Xbox supporter, this is getting ridiculous. I'm tired of 30 FPS titles being released on the next-gen consoles, and it's unacceptable. PC gaming is really where it's at, because I own one. The problem with Xbox is the Xbox Game Pass, as much as I love it, and I think it's a good idea, but for the consumers, the Xbox is going to make less money. It pulls more players if the game is good, but overall, the game will not make as much money if it was purchasable outside of the Game Pass. It's not gonna end here. As of recently, Xbox has always struggled to release 60 FPS to even 120 FPS to some titles. And why make games if they cannot meet the console requirements for it to be playable? So you have to cut the FPS in half and make it more less enjoyable for Xbox fans. It makes no sense. Like Remnant 2, 30 FPS on Xbox Series S, and it was obviously on 60 FPS on Xbox Series X. I know Xbox Series S is a lower downgrade of a Xbox Series X, but still, don't make a console for a game that cannot stand within 60 FPS or higher if 30 FPS is not really sustainable for today's day and age. It's ridiculous. Redfall was also promised a DLC, which is also downloadable content, but it was canceled due to its bad performance of Redfall. It's one of the worst titles on Xbox market. It did terrible. Like, the game is so bad, it's probably nobody playing it. It's, if you go on Steam right now, you can literally look at the Steam charts right now. I'll go do it right now. So if you go to Steam charts and look up Redfall, as of right now, playing 6 minutes ago was 17 people. A 24-hour peak was 59 people. All-time peak was 1,560. That is ridiculous. And if that was Microsoft, I would have completely shut down this game overall and not just shut down the company. Overall, they shut down the company, but it doesn't make sense. As bad as it sounds, Redfall deserves to be shut down, but Microsoft is allowing the Redfall servers remain online. On May 7th, Xbox announces that this was a closing 3 studios: Arkin, Austin, Redfall, Tango, GameWorks, Hi-Fi Rush, and Alpha Dog Games, Mighty Doom. Support studios at Roundhouse Games was also being aborted by Genemax Online Studios, Elder Scrolls Online. The news is yet another example of Xbox, which has spent billions buying up studios, cutting costs, laying people off, and rearranging chairs on good ships of Xbox, which lately feels like it's drifting aimlessly. Now it's time to acknowledge that Xbox Phil Spencer is making bad decisions. Since the era of Xbox One, Spencer has been the face of Xbox, consistently saying things that make his devout Xbox fans praise him and avoiding as much negative press as possible. He touts that merits of emulations and game preservation while acknowledging that Xbox could do more but has no plans to. In November of 2021, when Activision found itself in hot water following a Wall Street Journal report claiming then CEO Bobby Kotick had knowledge of the toxic behavior at his company, Spencer, one of the most biggest voices in the video game industry, speaking out against the Call of Duty publishers. This type of behavior has no place in our industry. Spencer's claimed it is an email and a CEC filing revealed in 2022 that a few days after the WSJS story was published, Spencer called Kotick and started working on the deal to buy Activision. Of course, this is pretty much common behavior for a powerful and rich executives who is part of the massive global corporation, but Spencer has been able to mostly avoid criticism, sharing stories of how he believes gaming should be for everyone, while making decisions that contradict this claim. In October October of 2020, shortly after Xbox announces its plans to consume Bethesda. Spencer told Kotaku that this deal was not done to make games away from another player's base, added that Xbox wants more people to be able to play games, not fewer people to be able to play games. Yet in March 2023, Redfall director Harvey Smith said that Microsoft stepped in after buying Bethesda and canceled a PS5 port of the Vampire Hunting co-op. Starfield shipped only on Xbox and PC, and despite a few Xbox games like Grounded and Sea of Thieves, jumping ship to PlayStation and Switch, future big titles like Indiana Jones won't be a multi-platform. Xbox boss has also talked a big game about giving developers the freedom to make what they want to make, explaining in May of 2023, interviewing with the kind of funny when a team with inspirations. While Spencer may say wonderful things about creativity and letting his teams make what they want to make, the reality is that if those bets don't play off, and even when they do, the teams at a risk of getting gutted or shut down, all while Microsoft becomes one of the few companies in history to do worth $3 trillion. But when Spencer was something of an industry darling for over a decade, it's becoming clear that the last 2 years or so that he hasn't inflammable and perhaps deserving of some scrutiny. Under his leadership at Xbox, thousands of people were laid off not long after the company spent billions of dollars to acquire Bethesda, and Activision studios have been closed. The games have been canned, DLC has been canceled, and Xbox first-party output has continued to be famine. In 2023, the company practically had nothing. In 2023, it had some stuff to show. This year is just quiet. Sure, its release schedule will, assuming nothing is delayed, pick up later with the release of Saga and Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. But after all the money spent on building Xbox's stable of the studios and teams, after all the guts and layoffs, after all the resources poured into growing the brand, Xbox has very little to show but poor console sales and have a few cool games like Hi-Fi Rush through and not cool enough to spare the studio from being shut down. Since 2014, Spencer has been the main person at the Xbox's helm. While his biggest supporters might want to blame the economy, PlayStation, or regulators, at the end of the day, he's making calls that aren't helping his staff of gamers. Sir, his Game Pass creation and the push to expand have been rightfully applauded, but by many, it was a genuine sea change for the industry and it did indeed bring more games to more people. But beyond that, one big victory that rest of Spencer's runs at Xbox Top's boss has been a series of layoffs, delays, apologies, and poor sales and mergers meant to feed Game Pass, but much intended of seemingly cost a lot of people their job. In 2023, amid 2,000 cuts at Microsoft, Spencer wrote in an email to staff that he and the gaming teams leaders at the company had to make decisions that we felt set up for the long-term success of our products and business. This involved cutting around 800 jobs from Xbox. Then in 2024, just months after closing its deal with Activision, Xbox cuts 2,000 jobs. In another email to staff, Spencer said that he and another team leaders at Xbox and Activision Blizzard had committed to aligning on a strategy and execution plan with a sustainable cost structure that will support the whole of our growing business. Yet after years of making the best plans for Xbox, people are once again losing their jobs. For Xbox/Bethesda studios are being shut down. I hope that this time Spencer and the leadership at Microsoft have found the right plan that will actually lead the growth, good games, and stability instead of more stop cuts and soaring profits for the company. And I'm hoping moving forward, Xbox fans and the media hold Spencer's more accountable for future mistakes and cuts and failures. All right, I'm not gonna get the best performance here since I'm playing on PC and recording at the same time on the same PC that I'm playing on. So we're currently playing Redfall right now. Yes, I'm playing Redfall. This is probably only the last time I'm going to be playing this game, since this game is going to have no longer DLC since it's canceled now. So as you see here, I think the game feels a lot worse than when I last played. So it does not feel good. As you see here, it is hitching really bad. And oh my God, woo, that's some crazy here. Okay, so when I just realized, like, watching the trailer while editing this video, the trailer looks nothing like the gameplay at all. I mean, it does, but it doesn't look as good as what they showcase in the trailer from playing it as of right now. So it's probably going to be one of my last videos that I'm making on Redfall, because, you know, this is probably going to be officially over. You know, Microsoft and, you know, Phil Spencer, head of Xbox, is closing multiple studios as of today. So if you guys want to read more articles about this, I'll link some in the description below. And it's like, I'm going to close this probably. There we go. Might not lag since I have that opened. All right, so here we go. We got some enemies over here. I mean, Yeah. So pretty much the AI in this game are pretty much freaking broken as hell because they have no idea what they're doing and I'm about to die. So even the AIs in this game are pretty broken as well. If you guys want to read up on other articles on this, I'll link some in the description of this video. There's just so many articles out. There's like IGN and other articles out there also as of making this video. So yeah, so it looks like this is going to be officially the end of Redfall as we know it. It's going to have no DLC content at all. So it's basically just going to stay the way it is forever. It's never going to be updated because Xbox and Phil Spencer, the head of Xbox, have canceled these studios. And this is just, it's sad to see this happening as of today because, you know, we were looking up to Xbox of the year of 2024 and now things just keep getting worse. It feels like after they acquired Activision for Call of Duty, it seems like things are just going downhill for Xbox. Like it just, I'm very disappointed in what they're doing with their games right now and their titles and the teams of developing and what they're doing right now. So hopefully Phil Spencer, he better like clutch some stuff up because as of right now, it's not looking too good for the game at all. So Phil Spencer, you better redeem yourself because, you know, people are probably going to be selling their Xbox and moving to PlayStation. I wouldn't be surprised. Or you can get a PC because that's even better. But even playing this game on PC is probably just as worth as playing this on a next-gen console. But anyways, cool little frozen wave over here, which is kind of cool. I feel like if this game was canceled and just never like put out, I feel like we wouldn't be in this kind of position as we are now. I think we would, but I think the team would be working a different game or they would still be closed down. Arcane Studios was pretty much forced to pretty much close down and this game was just a complete failure, honestly. But Phil Spencer needs to make better decisions on his games and the studio that made Hi-Fi Rush has shut down as also. So we had a couple of studios that shut down today. It's not really a good thing to hear, but it just tells you how game development goes and things just don't work. I've been walking for like not even like 5 minutes and I've not ran into like a single person yet. Look at this. There's just like an Hollow Man over here just running away randomly. Like what is happening? Like the AIs in this game are pretty freaking bad. How was it overloaded? I'm not even doing nothing. Oh, it's on Epic. That's why. Why the hell was it on Epic settings? There we go. Maybe it should work now. All right, we're on higher FPS here. I mean, overall, the game feels way better than it was before when it was the day one release. But it's like the last update was just better performance on the consoles. And basically, the empty world of Redfall is pretty empty and kind of boring. But yeah, this game is just officially dead. So make this my last game, my last gameplay of Redfall here. This is probably going to be the final gameplay that I do in here ever. So whatever happens, happens. Maybe I'll be that 60th person to be playing in the last 24 hours. So I'm actually going to check after this. I'm going to see if that actually went up to 60. It'd be funny as hell. Imagine like if this, the news from this of Redfall and like the other two studios again are getting closed down by Microsoft. Just imagine it just like it blew up freaking Redfall. It'd be funny as hell. But yeah, that's not happening because Redfall is like the most deadest game right now. I don't know if deadest is a word, but we're making a word in this video. We got a guy over here, the Hollow Man. I actually did a full walkthrough on my channel on the worst game. So if you guys want to check out the playlist, I'll link the playlist in the description of this video. You guys want to check out the series of this full game. It's you know, some aspects of the game are pretty cool, but you know, like the little finishers you do on the enemies and the vampires, they're pretty dope. But other than that, the gameplay seems pretty boring after all. So yeah, this is kind of disappointing overall. And as we know it, it might be the end of Bethesda. If Elder Scrolls 6 is not good and it doesn't perform well as they expect, it could lead in some consequences in the near future. Because these studios, man, Xbox is making bad decisions, man. I think that we need a new leader for Xbox because it's just getting ridiculous. I'm so sick of 30 FPS titles and it taking them up to a year to even release a 60 FPS performance mode onto Xbox Series S and X. And seeing that on the next gen consoles is very disappointing and kind of underwhelming. It's just so dumb how this stuff works. So here, we're going to do a little finisher here. So here we go. So that's probably like the only coolest part about this game is a little finisher here, which is kind of funny. I guess we'll go ahead and do one more here on this guy right here. There we go, another finisher. So there is some like cosmetics you can actually enter the game. There's like weapon skins and skins you can earn inside of the game, but other than that, pretty laggy experience here. How is it encoding Overlord? It does it. This game is so bad on performance. I'm on very low settings. I'm only on performance and it's still doing it. Wait, is my door still open? Nope, I have nothing open besides the game. It's fine. I'm gonna play another game. Oh my god, I'm getting off this game. I can't. It's so bad optimized at all.